Welcome back to Today on Bay TV. I'm Gaynor Morgan and I'm joined now by Gemma Jordan from Tonner. And you're going to tell us why you've turned Tonner purple.
Yes, the residents of Tonner have turned Tonner purple in aid of a fantastic gentleman from our village that sadly we've lost to pancreatic cancer. It's actually my best friend's dad, Paul, lost his battle with pancreatic cancer only 6 weeks after diagnosis.
6 weeks.
6 weeks. Paul was a fit and healthy 53-year-old man, enjoyed spending time with his family, friends, loved our local rugby club where he actually coached. And it's been so fast, it's been unreal.
Huge blow to the community.
Oh, the whole community has been absolutely devastated with the loss that they've had.
And it's such a quick thing to come in, isn't it?
Pancreatic cancer is known as the silent killer because 93% of the time it doesn't actually show its symptoms until it's too late. So we are trying to get people to check the pancreatic cancer website just to familiarise themselves with the symptoms. Nobody can bring back my best friend's dad, but hopefully we can stop another family from having to go through what Iril, Gemma, Craig and Evie have.
And what are the symptoms?
There aren't many symptoms for pancreatic cancer apart from drastic weight loss, vomiting, jaundice, and sometimes recent diagnosis of diabetes. And I think maybe if you've been diagnosed with diabetes and don't tick the average tick box, for people to actually go and request a scan, check the website, you know, it could save your life.
Because those symptoms, they're fairly general, aren't they? They could be symptoms of...
They could be symptoms for anything, and I'm sure that the majority of people with these things don't have pancreatic cancer. But surely you'd rather find out earlier than later because it could save your life.
Particularly men, they just don't want to know, do they?
I think men are proud, aren't they? And sometimes I think, and you'll often find this often the female in the house, sort of nagging, as they'd say, and keeping on to go to the doctor. But just familiarise yourself with the website, check the symptoms, speak to your doctor about it. If you are unsure, run it past your doctor.
Now, Tonner's turning purple. It's a bit of organisation.
Oh, Tonner's turning purple has been organised by hundreds of people in Tonner. It was actually at the request of Paul's wife.
That's a picture of Paul?
Yeah, that's a picture of Paul. That was taken on Paul's holiday 8 weeks before he died. That's Paul's wife in the middle there, Iril, with the bow making workshop that Tonner Rugby Club had for us, so we could make the bows to put on the front of people's cars, which we are selling for £2 each in various businesses.
Wonderful.
That's Paul's daughter there with the long curly brown hair.
Yeah.
And it's just about raising awareness of this, researching and getting the money together for pancreatic cancer. Paul's granddaughter Evie, who's only 9, has fundraised tirelessly for what she called her Bump the Champ.
Oh, the champ. It's a wonderful way of bringing the community together in Paul's memory, but also cathartic really for the family, I would have thought. Oh,
the community spirit that's been shown in Tonner during Paul's illness and since the death of Paul has been incredible. A lot of Paul's friends organised a bike ride, a bike walk, run, where Paul's daughter and son both actually participated in, and unfortunately Paul died the next day, where the village were trying to raise money to help, there's Paul and his wife, trying to raise money to help them as much as we can. The money, well, Paul's granddaughter raised £3,000 alone. That's an incredible amount for a 9-year-old, it really is.
Yes, and must be such a comfort to her that she tried so hard to help.
Yeah.
Now, it's Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes, it is. And November the 16th is crucial in the month because that's the Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Day. That's the day that the Ivy Tower in Tonner will be lit purple, which has been fab for us because Paul had such strong links with the rugby club due to his coaching there, that what they've actually done is on the rugby club's badge, has the Ivy Tower on it. So it was something that was on Paul's heart then. And that to be lit up purple in memory of Paul and in honour of Paul and to raise awareness is truly phenomenal.
I'm sure he's very proud up there somewhere. But as I said, great comfort for the family, but you and his wife and daughter, you're all involved, you're very caring people, giving in your day jobs.
Oh, yeah. Paul's wife and daughter both work for Escott Creek Glass in Swansea, which is a school to support children with additional needs. I'm an employment advisor for people with disabilities, so we help people with disabilities find jobs and go back to work. And Paul's wife, daughter and Paul have always tirelessly fundraised for anyone and everybody that needed anything. So I think this Go Purple for Paul has just shown how much they mean to everyone, because everybody has just pulled together to help them.
So what's the purpose of Pancreatic Awareness Month? You know, is there any hope of a cure for it or finding?
It's just to raise awareness of the disease, to raise money to help with research, raising awareness, and to honour the people that have lost their battles, because as well as people like Paul that are our local legends, you have celebrity legends like Alan Rickman, Professor Snape. Unfortunately, it was pancreatic cancer that cost him his life.
And it's such a swift disease, isn't it?
It's unbelievably quick.
And it tends generally to not have a good outcome, doesn't it?
No, I think the statistic is 93% of people diagnosed won't make it past 5 years.
It's pretty harrowing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why did you choose the colour purple?
Purple is actually the pancreatic cancer awareness colour. So Paul's wife did quite a lot of research, obviously, into pancreatic cancer when Paul was unwell. And then with it being Awareness Month, one day just said, oh, let's go purple for Paul. And it started with the purple bows on the front of the cars, but the amount of fairy lights bunting and everything in Tonna is gorgeous. It really is.
How have you coordinated that? Because it's
literally, the village done it themselves. Paul's wife put that up as a status on Facebook. Everybody's using the hashtag Go Purple for Paul. If you type that in Facebook, you'll see every picture, everywhere you can sell the bows. I drove through Tonna last night, and the amount of purple fairy lights, it really brought a tear to my eye.
Oh, I'm sure it did. They must be running out of purple ribbon in Tonna.
Honestly, I think the whole of South Wales is up to purple everything by now.
Oh, that's wonderful. So how long have you been organising this? How long has it been sort of in the pipeline?
Well, Paul unfortunately passed away on the 16th of October. So
it's early days for his family.
Very early days for his family. And with Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Day being exactly a month to the day that Paul died, Paul's wife, daughter and family felt it was a really nice way to honour Paul and raise awareness.
So, in a sense, they've been able to throw themselves into this effort. Yeah. Yeah,
they've been incredibly strong. The way that they've handled Paul being unwell, handled Paul's death, and rather than sitting inside then and thinking about what's happened to them, they're trying their hardest to raise awareness so another family doesn't have to feel the heartbreak that they are feeling right now.
Yes, and people can go from being relatively well. I mean, Paul wouldn't have known that he was unwell.
Paul, before his diagnosis, was actually on holiday in Zakynthos with his wife 8 weeks before, probably drinking Mythos beer if I knew Paul.
So lucky that he had that holiday, I suppose, but it just literally creeps up on you.
Paul literally just lost loads of weight, had jaundice. His wife insisted, even though he'd been going back and forth to his GP, that they went to the hospital, and then this horror of diagnosis unfolded.
So I suppose that's the other element of it, is to have the courage or the determination to be firm with the medical profession? I
think so. Paul was diagnosed with diabetes, I believe a few years before this had happened, and if your GP tells you something, then they are the professional and you would believe it.
Yes, you do, yes.
But and
sometimes you want to believe what they're saying.
And if your symptoms persist, it is about going back. And I know especially men, sometimes they don't like to keep on, they don't like to be a pain. Go back. At the end of the day, you were paying your tax and national insurance for this service. It could cost you your life.
Mm. And I suppose possibly with this awareness campaign, people can look on the Facebook page or look online more easily to get the symptoms and the facts to arm themselves if they feel.
Definitely. The I think it's pancreaticcancer.org.uk is the pancreatic cancer website, where they have a full list of symptoms, advice, guidance, maybe people that can help. Also, if you type into Facebook, Go Purple for Paul, you'll see all the information that we've found out and turning Tonna purple.
And if anybody wants to get involved?
If anybody wants to get involved, we'd love them to buy one of the bows. They're on sale throughout many businesses in South Wales. Tonna Rugby Club, the House of Glam. I know there's some in certain Tesco stores. Mucky Pups in Tonna, they are the Cwtch Caff Neath. I can't say everywhere because we'd be here all day.
Heartwarming turn on a very, very tragic story. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Next up, we'll be having a break.
Welcome back. I'm Rachel Hopkins and I'm joined by Mr. Navin Verghese and advanced physiotherapy practitioner Hannah Stockham. Thank you both for joining us here today. I know how busy you are, so we really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Navin, if you start off just by explaining exactly what it is you do and
Okay, yeah,
move on to Hannah.
I'm the clinical lead and consultant spinal surgeon in Morrison Hospital. We cover ABMU, which is the local health authority, spanning from Port Talbot Way all the way through to the end of the M4, basically. We also cover West Wales and the Hywel Dda Health Authority, and we cover all spinal surgical needs, predominantly for adults. We interface very closely with Hannah's team.
And Hannah, explain how it sort of links in and what you do, because you're an advanced physiotherapist.
That's right. So we've spent a number of years specialising in musculoskeletal physiotherapy. We access and assess patients following a period of self-management and physiotherapy osteopathy treatment. We assess and determine whether patients need further investigations or further support with a condition, and if necessary refer on to the spinal consultants for potentially surgical intervention.
So you're the last point of call, aren't you?
Generally, the last point of call for the majority of spinal conditions. There are certain caveats to that. If you have serious spinal pathology, if Hannah's team or the general practitioners identify a problem, a serious problem, which is fortunately very rare, then we may be the first port of call thereafter.
So just for argument's sake, if I was to hurt my back today, touch wood, I won't, what would be the first thing? Could I come straight to yourself, or do I need to see my GP first?
We'd normally recommend analgesics, simple analgesics, ice and heat treatment, some general exercise, even speaking to the local pharmacist regarding appropriate medication. If symptoms aren't settling within 10 days, 7 to 10 days, then yes, seek GP support, who may then signpost you to physiotherapy as their first port of call, or you can access physiotherapy intervention directly via various walk-in services throughout ABMU.
And if I was to come and see a physiotherapist, of course, it's normally quite, I won't say time-consuming, but it's a commitment, isn't it? Because it normally takes more than just the one appointment.
In most occasions, yes, you'll be seen on a number of occasions and advised on appropriate means of rehabilitation.
And it's important to see you regularly for the self-management, isn't it? You've mentioned that. And what does self-management mean in layman's terms?
It's being able to guide someone how to manage their condition, looking at lifestyle, work related issues, and basically posture, and general lifestyle, exercising, and dietary advice as well. So
lifestyle is quite a big thing. Do you see a rise in back pain recently?
There is, on the whole, a rise in back pain, and there are a number of risk factors which we know are associated with back pain, and they're not the risk factors you'd particularly associate. There are a number of psychosocial, for example, risk factors, dissatisfaction in the workplace, types of occupation. There has been some link towards manual labour as well. There are a number of things, depression and so forth, can all be linked to back pain. Depression
can be linked to back pain?
Yes, there is some evidence to suggest that depression, in particular workplace dissatisfaction, can be related to back pain. And these are all parts and aspects of back pain which need to be looked at. We in the primary care setting with your GP, and also Hannah's team in MCAS look at all these different aspects of back pain. It's not simply, the general understanding is that back pain is simply related to a problem with the spine, and that's actually an outdated theory now. We know that it's very multifactorial.
There are so many different ways you can injure your spine or back, as you mentioned.
Exactly.
It could be from a completely different part of the body, couldn't it? But
exactly.
Affect the back. So
well, that's the key. I mean, the term injury would imply that you've actually hurt yourself, you've had an accident or so forth, but most back pain comes on of no known cause. It comes on insidiously, it just gradually creeps up on the patient. Can be wear and tear, but as you quite rightly state, there are a number of other causes for back pain which may not be related to the spine or the tissues around the spine, and that's where the GPs obviously may need to sometimes play a vital role in delineating that.
Is prevention as important as cure? Because, of course, back pain, until we actually suffer from it, we don't sort of take any notice of people like yourself. Should we all sort of take more care of our posture, of our core muscles, so that we possibly don't have to come and see either of you? Or if we do, then it's not as serious as it could have been?
Yes, well, I would 100% agree with you there. Prevention is the key, and certainly a lot of patients who I see with back pain, once the back pain's gone, and the majority of back pain does dissipate after a few days, sometimes a few weeks, they then forget about that episode, and they forget to then adjust their lifestyle accordingly in terms of ergonomics in the workplace, adjusting their posture, core stability exercises, which Hannah and her team, obviously being a specialist physiotherapist, can tell you more about specifics of core stability, but all these factors need to be put into place to prevent further relapses of the back pain.
So it's a fully rounded thing. And you've mentioned pain relief. Do you think sometimes pain relief is used too quickly, whereas, you know, by doing that extra, maybe sort of Pilates, yoga, swimming, that may help more than just ongoing pain relief?
I think initially it's important to have adequate pain relief in order that people are able to keep moving and don't take to a bed rest. So we do advocate pain relief that's appropriate initially, but then a weaning process, as you say, and more reliance on general management through exercise programmes and a routine in place really to maintain a healthy lifestyle.
That's interesting, because normally if people injure their back, the first thing they do is that you don't want to move, but possibly the best thing you can do is actually gently do some moving.
Yes, and again, the word injured, again, if it's a true injury where you've fallen over and hurt your back, then that may be a different scenario. But if you're having back pain, which has come on for no reason, just simple mechanical back pains refer to it, then yes, you're quite right. Take some painkillers. Don't be afraid of the pain. Keep moving and use the painkillers to your advantage to allow you to keep moving. I do see a number of patients who feel afraid to use the painkillers because they feel it may be masking the pain, so to speak. But that's an incorrect thinking, really. And we do like to use painkillers in the first instance to keep things moving.
It's such a complex subject, and of course we could talk about so many different ways, but how did you decide to choose to go into physiotherapy and then advanced physiotherapy, Hannah?
I was interested in sport myself. Being in school, I had an injury, sought some physiotherapy treatment, and during that time I was quite interested in the actual job and applied to university. That's quite a long time ago now. And then following sort of a number of years of various rotations working in different hospitals, I settled in Swansea, and since I've been working in Abertawe Health Board, and slowly sort of developed my career then working in different specialist clinics with consultants, so that we're able to get that exposure and learn new skills. So that's led to where I'm at today.
And what about yourself, Navin?
Well, I did all my training in London, most of my medical school training, my junior doctor years. And when I came back to Wales, I was Welsh born and bred, and a Bridgend boy born and bred. I moved back and did my specialist orthopaedic training in South Wales. And when I came to Morriston Hospital, I must admit, a strange thing to say, some may say, but I fell in love with the place. I knew Morriston Hospital was an up-and-coming hospital, and I knew that was the place I wanted to settle down and be a consultant.
It is a great hospital, all jokes aside, isn't it? I was
it's a fantastic hospital. It's got so many specialist services, which I think is under-recognised, what Morriston can provide to the local and the wider community. We provide a lot of services all the way up to Aberystwyth.
Yeah. My mum's recently been seeing a physiotherapist, I was saying earlier, and I think she actually quite looks forward to seeing it. I mean, you know, you were saying that a lot of people, you know, rather come to you perhaps than the hairdressers. It's
it can be the case at times, and obviously from a social perspective, people who are living alone, it does allow them to engage with health professionals, but also we look to try and signpost people then to different organisations so they can continue with some exercise classes. They're more local to where they live in, so we do encourage that next step on.
So you offer so many different things. And just quickly as well, Navin, I noticed that you also got a Bachelor of Science in
psychology.
Psychology, yes.
Yes.
How does that link up?
Well, during med school, you do have an option, certainly when in London, you have an option of taking an extra year in the middle of your medical training to do psychology. And yeah, it was certainly a field I was very fascinated in, and it relates a lot to back pain management and a lot to medicine, certainly orthopaedics and back pain, because a lot of it is the psychology of pain, which you have to understand, and it has been very useful for that. At the time when I did the degree, I did have the initial intention of being a cognitive neurosurgeon and dealing with that side of things, but as time progressed, I ended up falling in love with spinal surgery for various reasons, and that's where I am today.
It's a fascinating subject, and it's been lovely to meet you both. We hope you come back time and time again and we can talk about specialist subjects within it. So we'll see you both very, very soon. Thank you to all our guests today for joining us, and thank you at home and online for tuning in. Join us tomorrow for Friday Lunchtime Live with Kev Johns. We'll see you all soon. Bye.